Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Silly Girl with Her Silly Sports, and welcome back to breaking news. Breaking news. Oh my gosh, what is happening? Oh my gosh, breaking news. Oh my gosh. Also, this is the first video with my comically large glasses. So a couple weeks ago, I posted a video talking about why were all these coaches getting fired, what was Black Monday all about, what it means for these franchises, and what were these franchises' top contenders. Now, of course, at the time, nothing was set in stone. People were still in meetings, they were still deciding. But now some of those coaches that I mentioned in my last video, they now have a place. They have a new home. Plus, I'm going to talk about some new additions to some other teams that a lot of people are talking about. So let's get into it. Now, the first coach I'm going to talk about is Pete Carroll because that is who I was most excited for. In my last video, I mentioned that the Chicago Bears were actually very interested in him. I don't know if I would say like top contender, but definitely like we want this guy. But we are going to get into who the Chicago Bears chose, and let's get into who Pete Carroll is now going to be the head coach of. So Pete Carroll has been signed on to the Raiders as their head coach for a 3-year deal plus a 4th-year team option. From my understanding, that just means that after 3 years, they kind of decide if they want to keep him or not for another year, extend the contract, whatever. So Pete Carroll is widely known for being the Seattle Seahawks head coach for 14 seasons, as well as the executive VP for them when he was done being a head coach. He led them to their first Super Bowl, won 5 NFC West division titles, reached the postseason 10 times, won 2 NFC championships, and plus so much more. The Seahawks under Carroll were able to see the offense finishing top 5 in the NFL in rushing yards 6 times. And the defense led the NFL in scoring for 4 consecutive seasons, from 2012 to 2015. Considering Pete has this extensive record, I do believe that this will bring a lot of hope to the Raiders. I do think that some trades need to happen. We need to look at that roster, see whatever is going on, and fix it. Overall, though, I think this could be a great new spark in the Las Vegas Raiders franchise. I also talked about Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson from the Lions in my last video and who were interested in them. I did give a lot of background information in my last video, shameless plug, so maybe you could go check that out, see what I talked about. So it is confirmed that Aaron Glenn will be the New York Jets' new head coach. I don't find this too surprising considering Aaron Glenn used to play for the Jets. He was a cornerback. A lot of coaches will go back to their stomping grounds, if you will. It's where he got his start. It makes sense for him to go back. So back to my comment about the Chicago Bears, Ben Johnson just got signed on to be their new head coach. I will be honest, I am confused by this choice because from my understanding, the Jaguars wanted Ben Johnson and that feeling was reciprocated. I don't know if money got in the way, wasn't the right contract, the interview didn't go as planned, I don't know. But here we are now with Ben Johnson going to the Bears. Who knows what Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson will do for these teams. I'm excited to see what will happen, see if it'll give the rebrands that these two teams need. Oh, I think perhaps they need them. Now let's get into some new additions, some headlining news that has come out. I'm only mentioning this new addition because I'm a Bengals fan. That's why I care. So apparently, this man named Al Golden will be the new defensive coordinator for the Bengals. He was the Notre Dame defensive coordinator. Obviously, they went to the championship, whatever you call it. While they did lose to Ohio, to get that far, I think is very impressive. What I didn't know is that he coached the Bengals linebackers back in the 2020-2021 season. So a little background information on him back in his college days. He was a 3-year letter winner at Penn State for being a tight end. In the 1992 season, he played for the New England Patriots. Obviously, I don't know what'll happen. I don't know this Al Golden guy well enough to know if this will be a good fit for the Bengals defense, but honestly, anything will be better at this point. Now, speaking of the New England Patriots, they also hired a new coach who also used to play for them. Mike Vrabel, is that how you say it? He was a former New England Patriots linebacker from 2001 to 2008. He was an important component in the defense in their wins back in 2001. 2003 and 2004. At one point, he coached the Tennessee Titans and got them to an AFC championship back in 2019. Now, I've seen some very back and forth comments about this guy. Some are just happy, some are just not, but mostly I'm seeing that people are excited because they think that this could help Drake May have a breakout season, since some believe that Jeremiah actually kept Drake May back from expressing his full potential. And then lastly, I'm going to make a few comments about just a few other coaches. The Jacksonville Jaguars hired a guy named Liam Cohen.
Jacksonville, the community, Duval.
And he did some weird Duval thing, and because of that, I'm already not feeling the vibes. I don't know what it is, but it freaks me out, and because of that, I wish upon the Jaguars a 4-11 record. And the Dallas Cowboys have been coined one of the cheapest rich teams in the NFL right now. Brian Schottenheimer, is that how you say it? He is the new head coach, and people are not happy at all with this decision. They have not seen a positive reaction whatsoever. People feel as though this guy's name was put in like a random name generator and then it was just picked. It landed on him, so that's who the new head coach is. Although this guy has a record with the Rams and the Jets, as an offensive coordinator, a lot of people still aren't giving him that hope that he will bring the Cowboys to where people want them to be. They're not really expecting a championship game or even a good record. So, sorry Cowboys. Sorry Schottenheimer, whatever the name is. Now that's all I have today for you folks. I hope you learned something so cool and awesome. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all so very much, and I'll see you next time. Mwah.